And you know, if I said to you, how many types of birds are there in Zimbabwe? You're going to look at me and you're going to go, maybe there's Kentucky fried and chicken in and chicken licken. But in fact, there's over 660 types of birds in Zimbabwe. But I think most people are only worried about chicken in. So anyway, so by being here, that we're able to show some of the birds we have in Zim. And what I really like to do as well is, if you did get an interest in birds and you started looking at the Roberts Book of Birds or other books, some of them are very, very confusing. So what I've got here is I've got a peregrine falcon there, I've got a lanner falcon there, I've got an African goshawk there, I've got an Ayers eagle there, I've got an African hawk eagle there, next to each other, so that if you look at the book, you'll be very confused. But when you look at them in life, you can distinguish easily what they are. And later on at 4 o'clock when I fly the birds, then you'll suddenly see birds that because of their behavior and their shape, when you see them in the wild, you'll be able to translate very quickly. I saw that bird at Kuimba Shiri. And then you can identify it and then hopefully see way forward. You know, when you came in earlier on, you saw that big group of children coming. Those kids have never seen birds before. And what did the little boy say? He said, "Look how beautiful it is." And you know, that impact, when he sees something that's beautiful, when maybe the bird says hello, you know, that's the start of an experience in wildlife and creation and looking after an environment that can last him a whole lifetime. If they don't come across this, then what have they got? They got 4 Dura walls in the middle of Harare, grey walls, switch on a light, drink water from a tap, eat their food out of a plastic bag. They don't appreciate the beautiful things we have in this country. Well, it has evolved, as you said. You know, I originally started off collecting injured birds in 1985, mostly birds of prey. But then what happened was, as I keep a bird of prey and look after it and then take it, train it, make sure it's fit, and then release it back to the wild, other people started coming to watch. And as they came to watch, they got interested in it. And then I got asked to train eagles for BBC, which I did about 6 documentaries with BBC, and that was really quite a privilege. But then other people would start coming out with not just birds of prey, but then they would bring ducks in, or doves, and parrots and things like that. So I always say we are the only place, and I can guarantee it, we're the only place that has not bought, trade, or swapped birds. All our birds are genuine rehabs. So when a bird, like the other day in November, a man died in Harare. He's got his cockatoo that was mourning him, and you'll see him there in the front. His name is Tiki, and Tiki is mourning the loss of his owner, and then his son, who lives in Australia, I think, brought him here for us to take care of him. So that's where I call the parrots that we've got broken home birds. They come from people who've left the country, or have died, or have separated, and then that's a broken home. Others are orphans, or sometimes birds fly into a pole or fence, a car, and get injured. So that's where we get all our birds from, is injured birds. So it evolved that way. And then some birds obviously can be released back to the wild, but obviously some birds can't. So if you talk to some people, they say, well, rather kill it than put it in a cage. Well, what we do is we can put it in a cage here. That bird can be an ambassador for that species. So when people come out, they can say, there's a yellow-billed kite. There's a Wahlberg's eagle. I never knew the difference. But because they're together, you can see the difference. So they stand out. Then on top of it, like in that aviary there, we've got spotted eagle owls and giant eagle owls. Because of that, those birds can breed in captivity. And we can take those babies and release them back to the wild. So there has been a whole cycle of evolution in the bird park. So from just having injured birds, now we can breed birds and release them back to the wild from birds that were not releasable before, birds that had no value before. Now when they are injured, they have a value because they educate people and they can produce youngsters that we can release back to the wild.